Hi, I'm Leanne Ely. I'm a nutritionist, a New York Times best-selling author, and some people even say I'm a life coach. I started the Daily Dish Show to share my story, my truth, and my journey to vibrancy, and to inspire others to do the same. Because it's all about grit, perseverance, and finding a way despite the odds. It's about embracing the whole woman, not just the parts that are easy to love, and feeding her heart, mind, body, and soul. But I found that this isn't just my story, it's your story too. It's go time. This is the Daily Dish. And who is here except my very favorite people in the world? It's Transformational Tip Tuesday, and I'm so delighted to have you here. I already see Jocelyn and Catherine in the house, and I know there's more lurking there, and you're on your way. Oh my goodness, my hair really is a mess today. Sorry, I just got done working out, and I didn't have a chance to fix the do. Sorry about that. Alice, good to have you here. I'm really excited about today. I'm excited about this whole theme of the week. The dots that I want you to connect on all of this are that all these old, 100 years ago, these people were coming out with these ideas and everybody thought they were crazy, were all based on brain science. So it's interesting. And I'm dragging them all back out so we can know about them. And I just want to connect the dots with you because this is what the reticular activating system can do for you. I want you to rock your reticular activating system. I want you to be the queens of your own life. I want you to have that vibrancy that you hotly desire. And I want you to live your life in full blown. Period. End of story. That's how this whole thing works. And who is, oh goodness gracious, look at everybody who just came in here. Hello, Samantha. It's nice to have you here. Deborah, Jeanette, Martha, Sandy is in the house. And I want to show you something. This was, I got 2 medals actually. So this is my silver that I won with my, excuse me for showing you my armpit. I don't want to do that. This is the silver medal that I won with my partner, Michelle. We won silver. And this is what I won with Mark, our gold medal. And I'll tell you what, these we got to wear them last night. We went to they had a lasagna dinner for everybody. And, and it was a little bit hokey, but you know what? We were just really glad to be there. My partner, Michelle, and her husband, Dave, who's my husband's partner. Anyway, we were all there and we had a good time. You know what? Can I just say something though? I'm going to tell you something. When you realize the goal that you have been after for a while, it is a confirmation from God himself saying, see what happens when you're persistent? See what happens when you put your mind to it? Yes, I'm an athlete, Jeanette. You are so right. And this is what I wish for you too, is that I want you to get, it might not be a gold medal. Can I just tell you, this is not gold. It might not be a gold medal, but it's something. You've got something in your heart that you hotly desire. You have something inside of you that you want so badly, right? Pinkies up if that's you. Pinkies up. Because even, this little, I don't know how much this thing cost. It was probably, I don't know, a quarter, 50 cents, $1, $5, I don't know. But it means everything to me. And it means the goal has been achieved. It has been achieved. So you saw it. I showed it to you in my book. It was in my Take Back Your Life journal. So pinkies up. You want something? Give me some pinkies up. Because I'm going to tell you right now that what you want is just as attainable for you as this was for me. It took me some hard work. But I'm going to tell you, you've got this. You're going to do it. And on my watch, with me standing behind you, I'm your coach. I want you to hear my voice in your head saying, yes, you can. Because yes, you can. Yes, you can. Over and over and over again. Of course you can. You were created on this earth to be a woman of achievement, to be a woman of destiny, to be a woman of vibrancy, to be a woman of purpose and on purpose. This is our calling. This is our mission. Do you accept? Do you accept your mission? Jackie's here too. I'm glad to see you. Jane, you too. This, of course. Sandy says, of course I can. That was part of our whole thing. Anyway, can you tell I'm a little lit up? Of course I am. Of course I'm lit up. And I'm a little glowy. I just finished my workout. But my time this morning was like bump, a bump, a bump, a bump. I did everything that I needed to get done for work, for home, and I spent an hour cleaning our house. Can I tell you? I'm just telling you. My sweet husband painted our living room, which desperately needed it. We had huge vaulted ceilings. And these huge vaulted ceilings require this massive, the ceiling like this, right? And it requires a massive, those of you who've been to my house, it requires a massive ladder. Anyway, he told me, I'm going to spray it. It'll make it that much easier. And I'm like, oh, the prep for that's going to be worse than the spraying, Mark. And let me just say, he did not adequately, he didn't adequately prep for it. And I have a lot of overspray that I'm cleaning up. Let's just go there. I love that man, but he's not good about that stuff. We have goodies for you. You know that, right? Always. Sleep Ease is our supplement of the week. If you buy 3, you're going to get the 4th one absolutely free. I would be, if I don't tell you about this, I mean, every single night. And I'm a double doser. I take 2 because 2 is just, that's my magic thing. Hey, Chris. 2 just does it for me and boom, lights out. I love this stuff because otherwise I'm a light sleeper and everything wakes me up. The dog, the husband, the house, the wind outside, the rain, anything wakes me up, not with Sleepies. This is really good stuff. Hey, Teresa. So check it out. I love this stuff. I use it nightly myself. You can find it at savingdinner.com/show. That's where we put these specials of the week. Buy 3, get 1 free. All you have to do is add to cart, click, add to cart, and we do all the behind the scenes thing. Make sure that you're getting 4 and only paying for 3, okay? The other thing is if you got an email from us, our prices are going up tomorrow. Now, I'm going to just give you some head thoughts about this. As I was talking about this, and I was talking about with Mark, and I was talking about it with our team and talking about it with Jordan, who consults with us. And I said, hey, I really don't know how to handle this. It's like we've not raised our prices and, I can just sneak it in and raise our price. And, the wisdom of the collective, shall we say, is saying something is basically is the friendliest thing to do. We have to. Sometimes we walk into a grocery store and we can just say, what happened? How come those eggs are so expensive? Nobody tells us anything. We just like, here it is, get it or not. So I wanted to give you the benefit of the doubt and just say, look, our prices are going up, and it's not going up like boom, they're going to double or anything like that. Not even, just slightly incremental, because our prices have slightly incremental gone up 4 times since we first set our prices. So right now, everything is staying the same until 12:01 a.m. Wednesday. Okay, so you've got another day. So get on it. I've seen orders, massive orders. Everybody's getting on it. But I'm telling you, if you spend $300, we're going to give you free shipping as long as you're in the lower 48 as well. So there's a real impetus there for getting that done and getting yourself super stocked. Okay, so check that out. You can go to savingdinner.com/supplements. That's where all of our supplements. That's the only thing in the store that we raised the prices on, because those are the only things that we got that has impacted us so much. So I've told you about that. I've told you about Sleep Ease, and speaking of the prices going up, now and today would be a great time to get your Hot Melt 30 kit. Why? Because starting June 1st, we are doing the Hot Melt 30. For those of you who've never done the Hot Melt 30, and by the way, if you've bought it once, you've got it for life, right? So if you've got the guide, don't worry, that's it. You don't have to go buy anything else, but I would suggest strongly that you get your Hot Melt 30 kit. Here's the thing. The Hot Melt 30 takes the principles of the Hot Melt Sprint and puts it into more of a commitment solid. This is what we're going to do as a collective, as a group, as a community. And we're going to really move the needle, not just have a 7-day whatever, but really declare and make a manifesto out of the Hot Milk Sprint that this is the way we roll. This is how we live our lives. This is how we have the clean eating that we want. This is how we have the habits that we want. And we do it together, because that is where we become even stronger. And yes, I'm a little on fire about this because I have seen the results of women coming together. There's just nothing that can stop them. Am I right? You know I'm right. So go to savingdinner.com/30, THIRTY, if you want a little bit more information on it. And there's plenty there to tell you about it and what it's all about. And then don't forget, if you want to save, a good percentage of what the kit's going to be, you're going to want to make sure that you get your kit today. And all of that stuff, by the way, is on that page. Okay? So I'm just telling you about it. And but not lastly, I love Samantha's little starry eyes. That's so great. He painted the sugar bowl on the counter. It's, oh my goodness, Jane, I don't even want to hear about that. Gives me a nervous tick. Full Bloom is happening a week from this Saturday. A week for this Saturday. And it's the theme for Full Bloom this year is our virtual one. We have the real one in person coming up in July, and that's July 7th, 28th, whatever. And the reason I'm telling you that is go get your room, and this is a hot spot to be. Go get your room, get your airline reservations, whatever it is that you need to do. Grab your girls and get together. I mean, let me just say, did the women that came last year, they had a blast. We had about 20 people or so here. It's a small group. We're going to take you on the boat. We're going to jam together and have an amazing time. There's going to be a little workshop-y, hands-on type of a thing. And that's terrific. You'll find out about that. I'm just letting you know, late July. But the virtual one is always going to move the needle in your life too, because this is the thing that I have found in all of my years of being a coach. I have found that the women who have the sunny, optimistic viewpoint of life are the ones that do the achieving. They don't look for the excuses. They're looking for reasons why they cannot be the one to say, I did it. So how do we get there? How do we brighten that light? How do we create a bright light if we don't have one? That's what this is going to be all about. And it's not going to be just about, putting on a fake, phony, happy smile like your mom told you to do. Put on a happy face. Did your mom tell you to do that? My mom did. It's not going to be like that. It's going to be working from the inside out. And with all of my being, if this is resonating at all with you, or even if you think I'm already have a sunny disposition, every once in a while I get blue or whatever, still come on down. Because being with the women that are all on the same page with you and being in my little clutch, because I will be the mother hen for this one. No offense, Nancy, but I will be the mother hen for this one. This is the stuff that makes me tick. So that said, go to savingdinner.com/bloom. Yes, Chris. Yes, Jackie. Jackie knows. She's been here. She's been to my house. We had fun, right? Plus, they had all kinds of fun that I don't even know about because they had matching pajamas. Mother hen, Nancy, created this whole little clubhouse experience for everyone. So it is so great. You guys are just amazing. If you missed any of these, we're going to talk about these too. The announcements, we have an announcements page. I'll tell you, savingdinner.com/announcements. It's everything there. So I will make sure that you have a chance to get to this. Meanwhile, check out the quote of the week. It will rock your world. Failure is only postponed success as long as courage coaches ambition. That's going to rock your world right there, right? As long as courage coaches ambition. But there's more. The habit of persistence is the habit of victory. Who knows this for truth? Who does? Put your pinkies up. Who knows this as a truth? Put your pinkies up. What does persistence give you? It gives you absolutely everything you want. Jane, I'm sad about that, by the way. Anyway, these are good. When I give you these quotes, write them down, throw them into your journal, mull them over all week and allow them to settle into your DNA because that's what it's all about, right? It is. I'm going to shut up now. A little bit anyway. Now, we were talking yesterday. I was telling you about, what was the name of the book? I just threw it away. Neville Goddard and all the things that he talked about. He was a big speaker of manifestation, the law of assumption, and all of this. And at the time, understand this is early 20th century, and the guy that I'm going to be talking about here is basically very early 20th century. These guys they were new thought thinkers. That's what they called themselves, new thought thinkers. Earl Nightingale, all those guys wrote a bunch of books back then. And I don't know about you, but if you've tried to read some of these books, they can be a little tedious. Just saying. The style of writing these days has completely, hugely changed, but it can be a little tedious. I read one book because I was in a mastermind program for a bunch of entrepreneurs, and it was a book called As a Man Thinketh. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but James Allen wrote this book. And it's just a tiny little book, but it's basically talking about what happens with our thoughts. The thing that's so interesting, though, is at the time of these writings, these guys didn't know anything about the reticular activating system, not one thing. They didn't understand how the brain worked back then. They thought, and at the time, they thought that the brain basically withered away as it got older and older, and that if you destroyed brain cells, they never regenerated and never came back. I was even taught that in high school biology. I can remember thinking, man, if that's happening and I'm 17 years old, what am I going to be like at 65? Well, I'll tell you right now, I am almost 65 and I feel pretty good. I feel pretty sharp. But the sharpness fades, right? Does it or doesn't it? It does not, as long as we are on top of it, building our brains, obviously, with good, healthy eating, with enough thinking, learning new things, and being aware of the way that our brain operates. It is the most fascinating thing in the world because our minds and our mind and our brains are two different things, right? I think our mind is sort of like our heart and our thinking together is what our mind is. That's sort of the mindset when they marry, And when we understand, when we understand that our brains can be manipulated and worked to our benefit, then we start to see things a whole lot different because everything is not set in stone. It can be changed. It can be changed. So, As a Man Thinketh, it's a self-help book. It was written by a man named James Allen, and it was published in 1903. 1903, 120 years ago, it was published. And the central theme of the book is that a person's thoughts are going to shape their experience, their character, their situation, their circumstances, their actions. And the other thing that he talks about is that we are all responsible for our own thoughts. And that is an interesting thing because I remember once upon a time, as a much younger woman, I used to believe I can't help but think that. I can't help it. I can't help it. Putting ourselves in that hapless victim mode of I can't help what I think. And he says, yes, we can. Because when we can control what we think, we can control what it is that we are going to do. And it's true. And he's got 5 principles that I think are really worthwhile. And I'm taking this, so that you don't have to go read the book and say, Leanne, that really was really difficult to read because it is a little tedious. I'm not going to lie. Same with Earl Nightingale, all of them, But the first principle is that your thoughts are going to shape your lives. If you want to get a gauge of what your life is about today, and if you were to write a summary of what your life is about today, your thoughts shaped it. Your thoughts shaped who you are, what you're about, who you're with, who you're hanging out with, and they determine what your circumstances are today. It's true. It's true. And we have to take responsibility for that. And we have to align then with those thoughts that are going to be propelling us toward that thing that we want. And I'm gonna bore you to death with pickleball stories today, only because it illustrates the point. And I had this, and just a couple of weeks ago, I was having a really bad day, and I was like, it's like nobody ever taught me anything. It's like I don't know what to do. And it's like whatever. And then and the worse I kept thinking like this, the worse I played. And then finally, I just got myself off the court, and I'm sitting there and I'm drinking some water and hydrating and just, having a minute between games. And I thought to myself, what if I thought instead I am going to play the best game I've ever played in my life? I'm going to remember where I am on the court. I'm going to be watching that ball continuously. And I'm going to be watching with my partner and watching what my opponents are doing. What if I did that instead? And I went out there and I played my butt off, and I had a great game. Afterwards, my partner said, you moved like a gazelle across that court. I thought that was the funniest thing. But it shows you what your mindset will do, because your thoughts are going to shape your life. Your thoughts aren't going to just shape a pickleball game. Your thoughts are going to shape everything in your life. Can you feel the enormity of that? And here's the other thing, you live 85% of your time in your subconscious, says Bruce Lipton, right? Who wrote The Biology of Belief. 85%, we are not thinking, we're having mental activity. And a mental activity is the same stuff on repeat. That's when we get into Groundhog's Day. That's when we're just doing and going through the motions and doing the same thing and the same thing. When we're thinking, we're processing. We're multi-layer, looking at all the things and saying, what's going on here, right? That's a big difference. That's a huge difference, because that's when we can tune in and tap into actual thoughts and say, this one stays and this one goes. So our thoughts are going to shape our lives, but I want you to be cognizant of the fact that your thoughts aren't just random things that you need to bring in and entertain. That would be like opening the door to anyone who knocks on it and say, come on in and have dinner. And the guy's just, all I'm trying to do is deliver your FedEx package, ma'am. Nope, everybody in. Everybody in. We don't do that, do we? We are protective. We invite people into our homes. We're careful about who those people are. They're friends of ours. That's how we have to think about our thoughts. Gatekeep those thoughts. Okay? Have I run this into the ground yet for you? Well, I hope not, because I've got more. Number 2 is your mind is your master. It is the master power that shapes your life. It is. We can use our mind to help us create the reality that we want. 100%. Because if we focus on the positive things that we want, if we focus on that, and we eliminate all the negative garbage stuff, again, we are mining for gold. We are being gatekeepers on the doors of our minds and only inviting in the things that are going to move the needle in our lives, that are going to make a positive impact. We have the ability to do that. And I know not everybody here is having the happiest relationship maybe with their significant other, but you can still do this when you're even in a bad place, simply by putting up boundaries and saying, this I will entertain and this I can't discuss right now, and closing the door and walking away from that. There are ways that you can do protective measures to keep yourself in this place so that you have the power of positivity, even when you're in maybe a struggling relationship. It's true. Number 3 is, you ever hear this one? You reap what you sow. Where have I heard that before? But we do. We reap what we sow. We have to plant. It's back to that whole garden analogy, right? If we decide that we want to plant vegetables, we are going to need to use vegetable seeds to put into that soil. But before we do, we're going to amend that soil. We're going to make sure that soil is great. We have an organic garden over where we are. There's a little dog park there, and then they have these gorgeous organic gardens. And our postman, by the way, Dave, who we love and takes good care of you and us, is a beekeeper, and we buy our honey from him, and he has his beehives right down by the organic gardens. So we have this beautiful, big raised organic garden bed, but it's up to us to amend the soil. It's up to us to put the seeds in, to weed it, and to water if God doesn't water it for us. It is up to us to decide what it is we're going to cultivate in that soil. And when you look in the soil, when you look at everybody with all of their garden beds, we have like 4 little fenced off areas. And when you look at all of them, you know what you see? You see all different kinds of gardens. You see some with wildflowers in them. You see some with trellises and climbing things. You see some all with vegetables. You see some people who just grow one thing, they just want the one thing. You see other people who have patched it all out and have really worked a plan. And that is our minds. We have the ability to either focus on one thing, focus on a couple of different things, and cultivate and nurture exactly what it is that we want in our lives. This is why vision boards are so dramatically important, because our minds see it. And remember, the subconscious mind can't tell the difference between things. Our subconscious mind has no moral compass. Our subconscious mind only takes orders, and it doesn't discern between this is right and this is wrong. So as you cultivate, choose carefully, because it's like letting somebody into your home that turns out to be, is going to hold you at gunpoint and rob you blind. We're discerning about who comes into our home. Be discerning about what comes into your mind and what you cultivate. Number 4, this is where your change begins too, is in the mind. And our thoughts will be the things that change our lives, because our thoughts are the block. Anybody ever watched a runner? When the runners go out onto the field, to do a relay race or whatever it is that they're doing, they put their foot on the block. That's their starting place. It's their starting place. So if we're going to get something accomplished in our lives, our thoughts are going to have to change to go with it. I will tell you this, and you've seen this too, in our Hot Melt Sprint group. How many people do you think have accomplished what they set out to accomplish, put their foot on the block and said, let's go? So many of them have not put their foot on the block. They've instead just gotten on the track and just said, all I want to know is what lane I'm in. That's it. Just show it to me. This is akin to just saying, show me the plan, and then do nothing about what's upstairs in your brain. When you do nothing about your mindset, you are going to get the same results that you have when you went to Weight Watchers, when you signed up for Jenny Craig, when you got all these other weight loss plans, because it's not the plan, it's the mindset that goes along with the plan. It's the block. You have to have your mind in that place of long-term change, of starting out right, of knowing where the placement starts. Those thoughts are everything, because those are the seeds that you cultivate to become habits that show up in your life. Because it's not done in a 7-day free plan called the Hot Melt Sprint. It's done as you sprint along. And the sprint becomes a marathon. And then the marathon just becomes a way of life. And number 5, and this is the biggie, this is the thing that just absolutely blew my mind. Yes, you can change your thoughts. Yes, you can. We have the power to choose our thoughts. We can choose them wisely. We can control our thoughts. We can replace negative ones with positive ones. We can do all of that. And when we say, I can't help it, it's because of this, and we start rationalizing and we going through our whole entire history of why things need to be like this and what our ex-husbands did, and how difficult it is with X, Y, and Z kids and whatever, then we have lost our way and we have given away our power to everything else. The power's all in here, and it's all inside of you, and it's in every single flippin' cell of your body, because God made you that way. He gave you choices. He gave you the power. He gave you the strength inside. He looked at you and said yes to you, put you on this earth now, right now, today, for a reason, on purpose and for a purpose. You have a mission directly from the God in heaven himself. You do. And the way that you are going to get to the place of even being able to understand what it is and what you can do with it is when you get down to the place and start thinking as a woman thinketh. And as this woman thinketh, I will tell you, I've changed my mind a lot on what it is that I allow my thoughts to entertain. And I invite you into this place of doing the very same thing. Because as you do, your life will dramatically change. There will be a before, there will be an after. And I'm going to tell you what, I see gold medals in your future. That's what I see. All right. We've got more. Tomorrow is Wise Women's Wednesday. And boy, oh boy, we're going to get down into it. I hope you join me. Meanwhile, if you missed any of the announcements, and please go there, don't miss out. Go to savingdata.com/announcements and check them all out. That's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining me again. Peace be with you. I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining me today. You can find me on TikTok for daily tips to help support your most vibrant life. And remember, you are the author of your own story. Until next time.